What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Cole Mize with ColeMizeStudios.com, bringing you another segment of 5 minutes to a better rap flow. And today I want to shift gears ever so slightly and talk about a problem that you have likely faced. If you haven't, you likely will at some point in time, but that is when you have written lyrics without an instrumental, only to go try to fit it to an instrumental later and realize that it's not quite working. Now, this isn't my preferred workflow. I prefer to establish my cadences first and then write lyrics to that cadence. That way I know it's already gonna musically work out and it's gonna work with that beat. Because this is kind of like doing double work. You take the time to write these meaningful lyrics only to realize that your lyrics don't work. And then you have to go back and rework the lyrics again. It's just double work. It's just unnecessary work that you don't have to do if you approach it the way that I recommend. Now, if you don't have an instrumental to write to when you're writing your lyrics, the least you could do is pull up a Metronome. There's free apps you can get in your Apple Store or Android Store, Google Play or whatever, but you can download a Metronome and just write to the Metronome. That way you know that your lyrics are hitting on beat very well. But let's just say worst case scenario, the damage has already been done. You've got these awesome lyrics, but they're not fitting to the beat. What should you do? Well, I recommend first to start by defining your anchor points. And if you don't know what I mean by anchor points, make sure that you check out my video on the 4-bar theory, because I go into this in great detail in that video. But basically the anchor point is the commonality that you create amongst all your bars, which gives them a tight connection with one another. You're essentially creating a small pattern, at least a small pattern, and that's what makes all your bars connect together. That's the pattern that you're creating, and I recommend trying to create those in 4-bar patterns. So in your lyrics, there should already be at least one of these patterns that I talk about in the 4-bar theory, and that's a rhyme scheme pattern. Okay, that's one layer of your anchor point. So I would start there, and then I would work out all the kinks leading up to it or around it. And that way you know that you've got your anchor point in place. You know you've got that pattern in place, and now you just want to work out everything around it. So to demonstrate the scenario, I have these lyrics on the screen right here that I wrote real quick, and they haven't been structured to the instrumental yet. Let me just read them out real quick. So the lyrics go like this. I wrote these lyrics on my computer so I can keep them on my radar. They say my rhymes are out of this world, so I guess I'm spitting them space bars. A little bit of wordplay action going on there with space bars and computers. But the first thing I would do is just try to rap it first to the instrumental. It's likely not going to sound pretty, but there's times where it may just work out the gate like that, and you always want to take the path of least resistance. So I'm going to try to rap this over the instrumental real quick. I wrote these lyrics on my computer so I can keep them on my radar. They say my rhymes are out of this world, so I guess I'm spitting them space bars. Ugh, it's not sounding good. It needs some love. So the first thing I'm going to focus on is the anchor point, right? Which is the rhyme itself, radar and space bars. And what I want to do is either make sure those are connected, just those words, or I want to make sure the words leading up to them are connected in a pattern, and that's your cadence pattern. So I want to create a cadence pattern that also connects the rhyme scheme patterns together as well. So we got the rhyme pattern, but we need the cadence pattern to connect them together. So I'm just going to play around with it for a second. To the tap when the pop, put the pop when the pop when the put the pop when the ground to the beat when the pop like we on AR. I wrote these lyrics on my computer so I can keep them Taylor. I wrote these lyrics on my computer but number not Taylor. For the rap, when the beat, when the rap, when the beat them on my radar. I like that. Pop when the beat, when the rap, when the beat them on my radar. Sit it pop, when the block, when the block them keep them on my radar. Okay, fight for the rap, when the rap, when they keep them on my radar. So I like that. Sat for the rhyme and they keep them on my radar. So I got keep landing on the first beat of the second bar. If you look at the little marker here, the little red blinking thingy-majigger, keep them on my radar, keep them on my radar. So you hear Ray's hitting on that third beat, keep them on my radar. So I like that. So I keep them on my radar. So I just need to work out the beginning part of that now. So I wrote these lyrics on my computer so I can keep them on my radar. I wrote these lyrics on my computer so I can keep them on my radar. So what I'm hearing right here is too much going on right here. I need to eliminate a word or two, a syllable or two, so it's not so cramped right there leading into that anchor point I just created. So I wrote these lyrics on my computer. See how I'm having to like just slur that word, wrote these. We got the S on these. It's taking up a lot of space. Let me try it again. I wrote this lyrics on, yeah, heck no, that ain't gonna work. So let's get rid of the wrote and figure out a way to rewrite that. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna eliminate wrote these. Instead of saying I wrote these lyrics, I'm just gonna say I write lyrics on my computer. That's gonna eliminate these, which is already like a space hog because of the S sounds on words always take up a little more space than other words. So I'm gonna eliminate these and change wrote to write, and let's see how that works. Let's see. I'm gonna start with my anchor point. So keep them on my radar. Keep them on my radar. I wrote the in the time on radar. I write lyrics on my computer, so I write lyrics on my computer so I can keep them on my radar. I write lyrics on my computer so I can keep them on my radar. So that works right there. I like that. So I'm gonna keep that. And moving on to the next line here. They say my rhymes are out of this world, so I guess I'm spitting them space bars. No, so I'm gonna go ahead and focus on the anchor point first, right? So I already know I got that. So I can keep them on my radar. So I want to match that, right? I want to create a similar pattern to that for the next line right there. So let me focus on that real quick. In the bump, to keep them on my radar. Pop in the bump, when the sit on the bump, when the blunt on getting space bars. Flap when the rap, when the beat, when the rap, when up them space bars. When the pop, when the pop, when the plop, I'm spitting them space bars. When the pop, when the rap, when the plop, I'm spitting them space. Nah. When the rap, when the tap, when the rap, when the pop, I'm spitting them space bars. When the rap, when the rap, when the plop, when the pop, I'm on them space bars. How the rap, when the rap, when the top, when the beat, when blow them space floors. Rap, when the rap, so I guess I'm spitting them space bars. Rap for the set, for the rhyme, for the flop, for the seat, them space bars. Rap for the block, for the prime, so I guess I'm spitting them space bars. They say my rhymes are out of this world, so I guess I'm spitting them space bars. They say my rhymes are out of this world, so I guess I'm spitting them space bars. They say my rhymes are out of this world, so I guess I'm spitting them space bars. They say my rhymes are out of this world, so I guess I'm spitting them space bars. They say my rhymes are out of this world, so I guess I got them space bars. They say my rhymes are out of this world, so the 8 bar. For the rap, on the bounce, so I keep them on my radar. And the rap, when the rap, for the rhyme, so I got them space bars. I got them radar, so I guess I got them space bars. I keep them on my radar, so I guess I got them space bars. So I can keep radar, so I guess I got them space bars. So I was just playing around with I'm spitting. It sounded fine when I kept I'm spitting in there, but when I added I got them space bars, it was a little bit closer to the pattern that I created before. Keep them on my radar, so I guess I'm spitting them space bars. So I can keep them on my radar, so I guess I got them space bars. I just like the sharpness of the I got, the kind of stop and go feel. I got them space bars, so I guess I got them space bars. So I can keep them on my radar, so I guess I got them space bars. I like that. Either one of those will work fine though, actually. But I just prefer the I got. I like the sharpness of it. So that's in place. So let me get the rest of it in place real quick and make sure that's working good. And now I'm gonna wrap the first bar leading into it because it's all about context. I gotta make sure it's all working well together. So on my computer so I can keep them on my radar. I wrote radar. I write lyrics on my computer so I can keep them on my radar. They say my rhymes are out of this world, so I guess I got them space bars. So I can keep them on my radar. They say my rhymes are out of this world, so I guess I got them space bars. I write lyrics on my computer so I can keep them on my radar. They say my rhymes are out of this world, so I guess I got them space bars. There you go. It's not pretty, it's not sexy, it's not my preferred way to do things. I like trying to get things right the first time so I don't have to do a bunch of double work. But if you're in this situation, this is how I would approach it. Again, establish your anchor points. Usually that's your rhyme scheme that you've created, and focus on the words surrounding that rhyme scheme. Maybe a few words around it, 3 to 4, maybe even 5 words around it, and establish a cadence that will fit those words with that rhyme scheme, and then try to match that same pattern for the bar after it, and that's what's going to connect those bars really good together. And then you just got to make sure everything leading up into those anchor points are sounding musical as well. So if you enjoyed this, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and get yourself a free copy of my ebook, The #1 Fundamental to Rapping. I'm dropping a video every single day for the rest of this month, so stay tuned. This is Cole Mize, and I'm signing off.